Okay. Let's scoot these out of frame here. This is, I forget which castle this is. I got a thing for castles, what can I say? I guess I can build a castle I can't live in. Not my model. None of these are my models, but this is from the Ultimaker Taz. Or sorry, from the Taz 6. Printed without support. And other than where I dropped it and broke a couple of the porticles off, there is not a damn thing wrong. And again, bone stock, out of the box, no problems. Excuse the dust, this is an oldie. This is, oh, this is a Monoprice printer. It does have a problem right there. Monoprice didn't have as high of build volume as they said it did, so it cut it off. But other than that, there are no zits. There are no distortions. This was printed without supports. You can see where it had a little problem with cooling for underhangs here, but still, first print, default settings, no adjustment, lots of room for improvement, a very solid printer. Okay, there's that Tallman Tea Glaze red. I like that Tallman Tea Glaze red. Again, beautiful print. That Tallman Tea Glaze really hides layer lines well. This was printed on the Taz 6 with the, I think this is the one I printed with the Morstruder. But even the fingers, again, default settings right out of the box. Another dual color print. Toes are good, head is good. A little bit of color blurring, but not bad. Again, default settings out of the box. This was on the Taz 6 also. This is on Maker Select V2, printed in Hatchbox Black. Again, rock on. Again, absolutely no adjustments. Could have been a little bit of an issue right there, but again, this was out of the box, default slicer, no changes. This is on the Ultimaker 3. It was printed in this orientation, which was my mistake. I wanted to see if it could cool good enough to get those teeth without support. It didn't, but that's fine because I didn't expect it to. But all the parts that it did look magnificent. Okay. This is on, oh, let's see. The blue guy was on, I believe this was on an Ender 3 or an Ender 5. Again, defaults, completely stock, default profile, no changes, out of the box. This is the kind of quality you can expect. This is, again, printed on the, let's see, this is Prusa i3 MK3. I broke the head off, I dropped it. But the wings look good. Everything looks good. Very minimal stringing. No support for this, and look how it just Everything except for one little speck right there just turned out great. Again, bone stock, no adjustments. So once dialed in, it was even better. Let's see. Moon City. Yeah, this one didn't come out as well. When I was pulling supports out, I broke the center. I got sausage fingers. What can I say? This was on a... this is on Creality. No, this was on the Cocoon Create. I mean, you can see a little bit of layer line, but again, this would be a perfectly acceptable print, and this was a sub $300 printer. Whoop. All right. This is a spider that was scaled up 1400% taken from an EQ model. You can see where the support was didn't come out real well, but that's just a matter of, you know, your offset support settings, no big deal there. But other than that, again, default settings, completely stock, out of the box, no changes. Running out of room on this desk here. This guy was on the Ultimaker S5. Yeah, I tried breakaway supports instead of dissolvable supports for this guy, and although the model looks great, he really needs to have his tooth picked, and I just couldn't get in there to pull those out. But there's no striations, there's no zits, there's no visible layer lines. It is just an awesome print. Again, I mean, look at that first layer. This is default everything, no changes. This one is on a, this was on, I'm trying to remember. This is an old one. Also turned out very, very good. Default everything. This is what the supports were. This was on the Monoprice Maker Select. You can see it had a little problem with supports coming off, but other than that, this is a perfectly acceptable first print. Little bit of problems with the ears too. This is an Ender 3. This is I think I paid $1 for this model if I remember right. Again, printed with no support. Little bit of issue with overhangs in the octopus arms, but other than that, this is the kind of quality you can expect from a first print from this printer. This is no dialed in, no adjustments. This is my Prusa i3 MK3 printed in this orientation. Fully functional little top platform jack. Little bit of distortion on the arms. They're probably going to be hard to see because it's small, and a tiny bit of stringing, but again, this is a perfectly acceptable first print with no changes. See, there's what I was talking about. You see that? You can see where it didn't quite form the hole perfectly or the peg perfectly. But again, this was a bone stock print using Prusa filament. This is a Taz with a 0.5 nozzle. Again, first print, default settings, default everything. And you need better eyesight than I got to find any problems with this model. this printer just came out awesome. This is using Lulzbot branded filament, Lulzbot branded slicer. This is very indicative of the kind of quality you're going to get with this printer. By the way, my camera sucks, I know that. This was the Ender 5 or 5 Pro. Again, very good. But if you look right down here, you can see one little layer misconception, and the base isn't as clean as some of the other printers, but still, this is a perfectly acceptable print. Top layer looks good too. This is on, oh, yeah, this was an Ender 3 also. This is one of my, I think this is one of mine. No, this isn't. Mine had 5. This is a KitKat. It could have used some work on the bottom layers. It definitely could have used more top layers. You can definitely see the infill. But you know what? This is not bad for a sub $300 printer, with, again, no adjustments at all. But this is the kind of stuff you get from a higher end printer. This is from a Raise 3D. I think this is N2 Plus or N2 Pro. I'd have to go downstairs. That's ketchup, by the way. I had it sitting on my desk. And again, this was printed with dissolvable supports. Other than you can see a little shining where not all of it dissolved. This is a fabulously well built print. Kind of quality you can expect out of the box. No adjustments. This is using their specific branded filament also. What was this one? This is oh, who makes that one? Oh, I'm drawing a blank on the name. BCN 3D. That was me. I broke the horn or hair off. I don't know if dragons have horns or hair, but you see, printed no supports, default settings. It did have a problem with the teeth, but this was a very good print. You would have no problem getting these adjustments. Again, this is completely out of the box. Okay. Well, I could go on for hours. I have literally hundreds and hundreds of these models, because how I do it, and I'm not saying this is how you should do it, I'm not saying this is the best way to do it, I'm saying this is how I do it, is I print a random model that I like as the first print, and then I keep it, and then I see how far I can get better than the first print. I have seen printers that would not print this quality after months of tweaking. Certainly not out of the box default works perfect like the Lulzbot did. And I've seen printers that should have been a lot better than they are, like this guy. This was a Prusa 1-to-1 clone. I believe this one had the Bear kit, but you can see it has dimensional accuracy problems. It has gap problems for the support. It was just not good. I mean, it has top layer problems. It has starting layer problems. Again, all of this was unadjusted out of the box because these are the first print, so I have a baseline to see what needs to change. This is the Ultimaker S3. Yeah, there's no reason to even show you this because an S3 and S5, other than the size of the same printer, but this one was printed in this orientation. Stock settings, a little bit of dust on the nose, and again, with the exception of one tiny zit you probably can't even see right there, this is a flawless out of the box print.